whatever the talk. It was really good. They got on the thing about sex, and more sex. And I love what Loretta said. She was like, an anointed man can take it from the pulpit all the way into the bedroom. And I was like, that's cool. I
but
you
some
want a
of
woman to say that.
But some of them cringe at that, and I don't understand that part. Because if that is your husband, what's wrong with that?
No, I think that's why I'm glad she said it, because she reminds me of my mom. And she's the most conservative woman. No, she reminds me of my mom as far as like being a lady just so super spiritual and so like, how would I know what my mom is?
I wanted to know. It's going to be another
No, she's so super spiritual and so wrapped by the Bible. And for her to say that about her husband and then to say right on, you know, into the bedroom, I think that really shows that, hey, you have an anointed man of God, but he has other human, you know, physical needs too, which is sex.
That's what Loretta said. They're one way in the pulpit and then they're another way in the bedroom. But how does she know?
Loretta didn't say
yes,
that.
She did.
She didn't say one way in the bedroom. She said one way in the home.
And then Michelle led it into the bedroom.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, she didn't mean like that. Don't
you taking up for your fake bishop?
My bishop gotta be fake. Don't do
because
that.
He's not yours. That's
exactly. No, he is my bishop. Yes, he is. No, Bishop Noel Jones is my bishop. Don't worry about it. Where your bishop at?
I don't have one.
Exactly. So don't you try to.
But I'm not one way on here, another way in the bedroom.
Is that true? Anyway.
Who you talking to? Ain't nobody good. Who you talking to?
Anyway, but yeah, but like I said, let's get with Loretta real quick. Loretta, you know, of course, everything kind of like resounded around her. You know, people, they wanted to know what was the status of Bishop's and Loretta's relationship. Is Bishop Noel Jones, who is single, you know, is he having a physical relationship, or, you know, relations with Loretta?
His lady friend of 16 years.
Of 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was 16 last year, so okay, 17. Yeah. You think they grown?
I don't know. I'm not in that man bedroom, but I know when I go to the City of Refuge, I know the anointing is very strong in there. I'm not looking. I don't know who I'm sitting by. If they doing something with somebody, I don't know who. You never know when you go in churches. You don't know. And who's to say, just because...
Yeah, you can't even get it out.
It's coming. But who's to say... Wow, but look at all that. That's my bishop. You know, I'm just saying, I don't know what they do in their personal life, but you know, I love.
But let's be real.
Let's
be real. You can be friends with someone for 16 years and just not do nothing.
Yeah. I mean, you know, but everybody's different. Everybody's different. Everybody's different. I don't know the stat if they're. Well, you know, it seems like she wants to marry him and it's that kind of friendship. But what I'm saying is, there's some people who can really hold off, you know, and I couldn't. I'm just being honest, but if he can do it and if she's okay with it, and both of them, she stated that she was married before, he was married before, and right now they're in good places and she's fulfilled in her life. So if that's what Loretta is and that's what Bishop Noel Jones is, leave it at that. Let them people be fulfilled. Right. So, you know, whatever. But Lady Maisha lost 30 pounds.
Looking good.
Yeah, she heard Denise when you went off on her about that. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. I still remember that.
Well, girl, you looking good.
She looks good, real good. She looks so tiny.
But she was talking about surfboard and doing all of that.
Yeah, she did say surfboard. Yeah, I thought that was real wild. Sex, and more sex. Dominique was there. Dominique's got a little bit of baby weight on her, but it looks good on her. It's becoming
just thick.
Just thick for right now. She'll lose that in about a month or two. And then we got
some natural real
stop that. Pastor Jay, Hazelip's wife, was there, and you know, she still talked about wanting a friend. I guess, you know, she said she loves the first lady.
She is really hard up for a friend.
And some people are. You can have all of that, and like she said before on previous shows, Preachers LA, she want a friend she could just let down her hair with, let down the convertible top, and just drive out on Venice Beach. And when you long for that, you long for it. She just don't.
And sometimes you long for it and you fall for it because sometimes these girls aren't loyal and they come into your circle to get next to your man.
Exactly. Now let's talk about that, because some of the women were talking about how a lot of women in the church, and just women period, have done silly stuff to come after their husbands, like you know, send panties,
send keys to the garage.
Keys to the garage. Somebody bought Bishop Noel Jones a Ferrari or a Bentley, Loretta said, and they returned it back to the lady. When you buying a pastor a car, Come on. I'm sick of that. These, and then mostly women. They got, come on, you gotta get with it, man. I'm serious.
So you saying that women in the church are desperate, or that's another show?
No, I think a lot of women in the church are desperate. I really do. I think a lot of women in the church are desperate, and I think the church is one of the easiest places to go to. Most churches, not all, is an easy place to go to find vulnerable women. Dietri, I don't know what that is.
That you're inspired by?
Dietri had, man. Dietri, man.
A diva.
I was gonna call him something else. Dietri, okay, they were sitting around talking about Shaq. Dietri is still having this thing on Shaq. You shacked with Dominique, you probably shacked with some other girls before. Dietri, you did it, get over it, man. It's like, really, come on, man.
But that's the thing, he keeps saying that people are putting his back up against the wall, and he keeps saying that Ron is talking about him, and they
Ron is an instigator. I mean, it's reality TV.
But you did it. It's the truth. You did it.
Yeah.
There was no need to throw your coat. Yeah, you overcame it. You're married to Dominique now. You have 2 beautiful kids. It's like, okay, let him talk. But if you keep giving him that much power, then he will keep doing it.
Dietri represents a lot of people, not only men, but women who have been hurt by the church. Everybody knows the story. You know, he's been hurt by the church, not by the church, but people in the church. We've all been there. We've all been with people who said one thing, and when, you know, the road meets the rubber, they turn their back, they're doing, hey, it happens, and it's sad when it happens in church because we think that it shouldn't, but it does. And, you know, you can't just really just take that out on everybody. But to the point where you getting up and you throwing your jacket and, you know, and then you hit Michelle with the towel, whatever came off of it. I hit Michelle Williams, man.
Yeah, we got her the job, so she wouldn't.
I know, but still, that was too being a diva. He's being really that was a punkish movie, man. That was really punkish.
It was all about him anyway, so.
Yeah, he is a breakout star of this show, so people, they love seeing Dietri acting in a tantrum and everything. It's like he's 17 years old, so it is what it is. But what else did you not like with the movie?
That they act like women.
Yeah,
they keep up more mess than the women.
Okay, they were upset that Bishop Noel Jones was not there, and also they were upset that Clarence McClendon was not there. I said, you know what? I feel that if you join the show and you sign up for it and you getting a check for the show, you need to be there to do the show. For everything they need, when they need you to film, you need to be there. And
sometimes things happen.
Yeah, and I take that in consideration. They are pastors. Sometimes things happen. All that kind of stuff.
He was there via satellite.
Exactly. He did do something via satellite, but I think when it comes...
Bishop Jones, did he come in via satellite?
No, he didn't come in via satellite. Bishop Jones, I think something happened with a member in the church. He has a big church, but a church of his size, if something happens...
You just said they need to be there, though.
I know, but look here. I think they need to
use
discretion.
It's always an exception when it comes to your own life.
Hey, but you are a pastor. This is not like, you know, Love and Hip Hop when them people ain't got nothing to do. Oh, I'm in the studio. No, if you're doing a show, come here. The studio can wait. But if you have people's lives and you're a pastor, I can understand if you can't make it. Bishop Noel Jones, out of all those pastors, I think has the biggest congregation there. So if his members need him, he has to attend to a wedding or a funeral or something, prior engagement. That's what he has to do. And of course, what's his name? McClendon has a really big congregation too, and things come up, you know?
Nah, it come up, but when you were talking about McClendon, he needed to be there.
Yeah, you know, I would think that all of them, look, I love my bishop. Bishop Noel Jones is my bishop out of all these bishops on this show. So you quite naturally, when you say something about him, that's my bishop. I'm gonna say something. Now, I know he don't want us to defend him, but I'm not gonna let you just.
How you know that?
Look, I'm saying, City of Refuge is my church. These are my people. So it's like, you can say you have your opinion about Bishop and everybody else, but you know, I have a right to say what I have to say. That's what makes this a democracy. That's what makes this free speech. Exactly. You can have your view, and I got my view.
That's right. We agree to disagree.
Exactly. So,
but other than that, we're ready for the next season.
I'm ready for the next season.